when you have those conversations, guys, technical difficulties. I feel it in my bones tonight. I feel it in my bones. Hopefully it doesn't plague us too bad. Nevertheless, we're live. Do you know that if you're a really, really big time college football fan or football fan in general, you probably have a conversation with your buddies or people that you work with or whatever about, hey, remember the old days of like Ed Reed and Mike Allstott and Ray Lewis, Ty Law? Remember when dudes could, Troy Polamalu, remember when dudes were out here hitting like a decade ago? Now it's not been like that. Today's LSU's practice was pretty intense, pretty gritty. If I do say so myself, guys were battling out there today. I am really, like, if I'm a fan and I see how hard LSU worked in the red zone today, offense, first team offense versus first team defense, it would get me in the mood. I'm already in the mood. I'm always in the mood. That's what she said, or that's what he said. Nevertheless, today was one of those old school type of filling practices. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Who's going to win the rep? And I will admit, I'm very proud of both sides of the football and what they did today in the team periods. We will talk about that. Brian Kelly meets with the media, some of the things that he has seen throughout camp. We'll mention very consistent. I do add, very consistent with what we've talked about on this show was Brian Kelly's press conference last night or today. What we spoke about last night, pretty much the same. So we'll get into another really deep practice report, Brian Kelly, and at the end, we will get to some of your questions. David says, Dim Dog's coming out. That is very great news. That it is. He also says technical difficulties. Does that mean an additional 30 minutes of AYS? Well, at the end of the show, if you have questions, y'all need to fire him in there. I'm going to stop doing the Q&A portion of these shows if you're not going to fire in questions. You got to ask me questions at the end of the show when we do Q&A. It can go as long as can be. Got to ask questions inside the comments so that if you want an extra 30 minutes, I'm not going to sit here and just chit-chat to myself, even though pretty much that's what I do because I can't see you. It's pretty much like I'm chatting with myself here. Econ and LGZ is in Raleigh, North Carolina. I guess that means he's not coming to watch the fights with me this weekend. Of course not. He can't go to North Carolina without my blessing on fight week. UFC 30 whatever it is. 308? Is this 306, 307, 308, whatever it is? 304? Israel Adesanya versus Drake Duplessis. There's the plug right there for the tax write-off. Kevin Banta says, let's go. Holla at your boy. Good to have you in here. Sam Houston. Probably not talking about the college, or maybe we are talking about the college, but Sam Houston says the 318, 3-1 great. Good to have you in here as well. Josh Greer says from the 985, but I'm in the 251 dope. Fair Hope. Alabama is in the building. Trip Block with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, do you think we will be better than last year? It's a great question. It's a great question, Trip. I don't know if we will be better. What I do know, and what Brian Kelly mentioned today, actually the very interesting thing, the big segment that you and I had last night and what we talked about is Blake Ruffino says, hey, I think you're going to be more balanced, and Brian Kelly came out there today and agreed. I don't know if you're going to be better. I think Jaden Daniels was generational, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't think that you see guys like him and Lamar Jackson often. That's what my opinion is. That's what I think of him. Like, you don't see that every day, guys, and you're not going to see it this year. What I will say is I think that defensively you're going to be better. Much more improved. Do you still have weaknesses? Do we still have concerns? Do you still have to go out there and prove it? Yeah. But everything that this unit has done in fall camp would just be a lack of bullshit if you don't go out there in week one and look massively, just so much better defensively. Could week one you fall flat on your face? Maybe. But you hadn't shown that you will fall completely flat on your face if you're this LSU defense so far this camp. So do I think that they'll be better? No, I don't know that. Because, again, if Jane Daniels had a top 50 defense, guys, we're playing for a national title. So, no, I don't necessarily agree with that. But I don't know. Brandon Richardson with a $5 super chat says for my previous statement. Okay, I will. Guys, can we go find his previous statement? What is his previous statement? Do we have it? I don't know. Just fine until you find one of them, I guess. What was your previous statement? Let's not look for it. If you can't find it, it's fine. What was your previous statement, Brandon? We appreciate it. We'll get back to it. Underwood could be generational, in my opinion, says David. He could. 75 says on YouTube, Blake, 702, fabulous Las Vegas by the Port City 318. Finally caught a live show. Thank you for being here, sir. Thank you, or madam. Don't know. Thank you for being here. Are you going to the game? It's right there. If you're in Vegas, it's right there. Are you going to LSU versus USC? That will be the question. Sure, it's going to be a whole lot of hell of fun. Legion Stadium out here is really, really good, cool too. Really nice too. It's going to be a fun game. Josh is in. Cameron Parrish is in the house. Yeah, you are going to the game. How about that? Is Blake going, says Freak. I am not going. I will be here. I tell you this every year, man. I can't do both. I can't do post games and be there. If you hate me for it, you hate me for it. If you don't, you don't. It's a business decision that I made for myself. If you don't like it, get over it. But I'll tell you this. I'm out there every day at practice watching this team every single day. It's a business decision. I have people, how do you know what's going on around the program if you're not at the games? Well, I'm watching the game on TV. I'm breaking the game down. The recruiting stuff I'll get from where I need to get, specifically people that are connected in recruiting the staff. Because there's a reason that guys commit on this show very often. But it's the business decision that I made. Like it, love it or not, who knows? Moist on YouTube says, "Sup, Blake? Still alive out here in Germany. Good to have you here, man. Good to have you in here. Germany, man. I wonder what time it is in Germany. Couple more that we got to get rolling. Jenkins with a $4.99 super chat. He says, a lot of teams with injuries this offseason. Fortunately, LSU, knock on wood, has avoided major injuries. Knock on wood. You got a couple of weeks. Knock on wood. Do that right now. Jenkins. Knock on wood right now. You do not curse this team. He says, would you attribute that to the job that Jake Flynn is doing? So actually, here's what I would attribute it to. So I don't know if y'all saw this or not, but Brian Kelly did a podcast 4 days ago with one of his old players at Notre Dame. It was about being a CEO, like a CEO podcast. It wasn't football generated. In the conversation, and forgive me, I don't know who the podcast is. I just saw Brian Kelly and started listening to the beginning of it. And then I found him there with a former player, and I watched the whole thing. It's about 30 minutes. Brian Kelly, the new part of their or LSU football ops. So they have a whole new $1 million wing that they've built. It's not completely finished yet, but it is like massive. Brian Kelly donated $1 million for sports science, and that's what it went to building on to the university. So your head coach gave $1 million of his own money. Hey, I want this sports science thing and all this, a barbershop in here, a whole bunch of different stuff that was put into LSU football ops. He said in that podcast that he spends probably 85% of his time when it's not focused directly on football, X's and O's, recruiting, etc., on sports science stuff. Like that piques his interest. The human body, like how to make sure guys don't get soft tissue injuries and stuff like that. They have been, here's a good thing about LSU. They have been next level under Brian Kelly in that specific situation. When you have a head coach that's this detailed to stuff, look, there's a lot of shit that gets mentioned about BK. What I do love about him is his attention to detail and these kinds of things. Retention has been up since the portal. Guys, LSU doesn't lose a lot of dudes to the portal. They just don't. Not compared to what you have at Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, etc. You don't lose dudes like that. I think that there's a psychological thing behind it. I think that there's a mentality behind it. I think that there's a sports science thing behind it. With that being said, I think that those are the things because we look at recruiting so much. We look at win-loss record all the time. Him and his daughter are playing golf together. Oh, what's he doing playing golf? Guys, it's the freaking off season. That's why he's playing golf with his daughter. Like, y'all put too much. Well, if he makes $10 million, he should be in the building 24/7. 24/7, he should be in there. It's not your money to give. None of you that have that argument are directly giving him money. Well, in essence, I am, Blake. No, you're not. He gave $1 million of his own money to build a state-of-the-art facility that's attached onto what you already had, that these nagging injuries. Jacoby and Guillory. My pen just like went flying. Jacoby and Guillory got hurt yesterday. He's back today running 11 on 11. That's what I think. That's what I think. I am not entertaining the bots in the chat anymore. Can't do it. Won't do it. It is what it is. All right, this is the last one. Thomas says, looking dapper with the first cut. Blake, how's Pooh Bear and his son and Ben? Love you guys. Thank you, Thomas. Pooh Bear, look, man, y'all can go catch Pooh, man. I mean, their podcast is really taking off. The Golden Boot, they do a great job over there. Go listen to them. The Golden Boot podcast. Good. Talk to Pooh Bear today. Talk to him almost every day, pretty much. Good. And in reference to Ben, my son started kindergarten today. My son started kindergarten. Getting old, man. I'm a diaper Dan, man. Let's get rolling. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to all those groups if you're on Facebook, to all of those social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Let's talk about our friends over at betonline.ag, our good friend Tyler Alexander over at LPT Realty, and our good friends over at Jake Exterminating. We talk about and break down what was the most intense practice this fall for LSU football. We do that next. Stay with us. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. No, not mud bugs. Unwanted bugs like these. The ones you don't want crawling in your home or business. Trust the Shield from J&J Exterminating. We've been protecting Louisiana homes for over 50 years, earning the trust of our clients because we deliver what we promise. Protect your home from pests. Get the Shield from J&J Exterminating.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
J&J has protected Louisiana homes and businesses for over 60 years.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
All right. Let's get this thing rolling. So we continue on our path of breaking down every single practice that we are allowed to go to and talking about it the same day. So I've had a lot of questions like, Blake, when's practice? When's that? It seems like of this past week, it's been every day. So we did a show on Sunday. We did a show Monday, Tuesday, today. So we continue of the 4 of the last 5 days, going out to practice, getting our eyes on this team. What do we think of them? And we've been going day by day with them. I have been to all 11 practices that they have allowed us to be at. With that being said, or practice 11, however many we have been allowed to, I think it may have been 9, maybe it's 11, whatever. Today is day 11 or practice 11. I've been out there for all of the days that we were allotted. Today, at the end of practice, was the most physical and intense period that I had seen all camp. Guys, when you get down to the goal line, which is what they were doing, at the end of practice, they go to the goal line period. So 1st and 10, or 1st and goal from the 10 is where they started off in this based scrimmage look. Yesterday, they did full red zone. Today, 1st and goal from the 10. What are you going to do? Because before practice, like there was some 7-on-7 stuff that happened. Like Aaron Anderson called an 8-yard in route. John Emery caught a check down for 7 yards. Nuss had to throw the ball away because the DBs locked the receivers down. There was nowhere to go. P.J. Woodland had a PBU on Xavier Thomas on the out route. Nuss fires one to Kyron Lacey for 10 yards and a slant. Like 7-on-7 was what it's been all camp. Second team as well. O-line dominated through O-line, D-line period again. Like I'm not going to repeat myself on how things have been going in those individual type of drills. I want to spend a lot of time tonight on the team period and goal line and what we saw from this defense, what we saw from this offense. Guys, there was a level of physicality today on both sides of the football that has not been there. I think it was there in 22. Like, I thought the 22 camp was very physical up front. I thought a lot of guys got after it. I thought Anthony Bradford was really nasty in the middle at guard. Then Jane Daniels was running the football a lot more because there was an issue in the passing game. Let's just call it what it is. Regardless, at times there was an issue in the passing game, but was running at will. Josh Williams was there. John Emery was there. I'm not going to say it was the most physical practice under Brian Kelly, but as he mentioned today in his press conference, today was about a mindset. Let's talk about the coach speak of what he meant. Basically, it's like, hey, man, we're having some issues. We're not consistent enough. But, man, I tell you what, we're going to be a very balanced team. We're going to be in some close games. We're going to run the football and lean on some teams. And I basically what Brian Kelly told you today without telling you is, hey, man, we might have found something defensively. If not, then Garrett Nussmeier, man, I mean, like, what's going on there? What's going on with him? This team has been very tick for tack in everything that they did. Brian Kelly says it's inconsistency. I call it tick for tat. Offense gets this one, defense gets that one. Offense gets this one, defense gets that one. It's as balanced as you can see. Both coordinators talked about, well, we got to be more consistent. Well, no shit. If you're winning on every play, it would not look good for one side of the football. I'm glad that you're going back and forth, if I'm being honest. But today, when you got down to the goal line, shit got very real very quickly. You know, I was wondering, and we talked about this last night. We talked about the issues that there has been in the running game defensively. All of camp, it has been really bad. It has been, you've seen it. LSU has posted the videos of Caleb Jackson running up the middle. And today, when they got down to the goal line, so again, they started off first and goal from the 10. Josh Williams takes a carry in the inside, bounces it right outside off of Will Campbell's hip, because Will Campbell is driving his man off the line at a very vicious rate. Josh Williams is untouched to the end zone. That is a lot of what we've been seeing from this run game. That's how they started off the team period in 11-on-11. After that, they would go to the second team. So first team defense, first team offense. The offense scored. You're done. No other play. If you're going to dominate like that, we're going to put in the second team. Something very interesting started to happen because Caleb Jackson would get a 5-yard carry. Caden Durham would go for 3. So 3rd and 2 or 3rd and goal from the 2. They would throw the football. P.J. Woodland would bat the ball down on Xavion Thomas. Then they go for it on 4th and goal, and Collins gets sacked. Then the next 5 plays would be the most intense that we have seen, arguably in the Brian Kelly era. Because the first team defense and the first team offense would go out in goal line. And it's 1st and goal from the 5 now. So you're in the red zone. You're at the goal line. You're about to go in to score. And the defense stood up pretty big. Caleb Jackson gets a carry. No gain up the middle. Caleb Jackson, and that's on 1st down. On 2nd down, Caleb Jackson gets a run for no gain up the middle. That was 2nd down. Your 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. This defense had stood up big through 2 downs. Stonewalled this offensive line. Greg Penn trading the A-gap multiple times, getting stops. Harold Perkins penetrating the A-gap, tackling. Caleb Jackson at the line of scrimmage. And so help me God, in my mind, I'm thinking, where in the hell has this been? It's what I've been thinking. Because Greg Penn and Harold Perkins would get those first 2 stops. Caleb Jackson on 3rd down and 5, or 3rd down and goal from the 5, gets a carry up the middle for 3 yards. Jacoby and Guillory, God bless him, gets I don't know how to say this. Gets in a tussle with Emory Jones. I see a helmet fly. I don't know if it's Jacoby and Guillory's, but he's the only one without a helmet on. Him and Emory Jones are in it. Emory's got his hands up like, hey, man, I didn't do anything. I just dominated on this play. And Jacoby and Guillory kind of got in the fight, and then Bo Davis runs over there and is like, hey, man, this is football. Get over it. In a game, we lose because of you. We're losing in the game if you take off your helmet and throw it. We're going to lose. You know what I noticed? 3rd down goal from the 5, you made another stop. I don't give 2 shits about that helmet being thrown during practice. I'm glad Bo Davis was there to settle it when it needed to be settled. But I love the stop. 4th down. So what happened here is you had an offsides penalty or a false start penalty or offsides penalty by the defense on that third down play. Brian Kelly talked about it in his press conference. We read it off like we want to see what's actually happened. We'll fix the guy being offsides. All right, sounds good. So 4th and goal. They run it up the middle again with Caleb Jackson. Ask any media member that you want. Ask any media member you would like to. If you don't want to believe me, I know that the offense scored. Caleb Jackson up the middle on 4th down. They allotted him the touchdown. He wasn't in. We had a goal line view down the line. I know Bryce Kuhn was there. I know Wilson Alexander was there. And I know Zach Nagy. We were all standing down the goal line watching that 4th down run. In my humble opinion, unless video evidence shows me differently, it did not look like he got in. It looked like the defense made a stop. Guys, they were out there absolutely hitting, getting after Caleb Jackson, stopping the run, fitting run fits, not taking no for an answer. You are not scoring on us. That's the intensity that they played with today. By the way, I got a little sneak peek at the last one-on-one team period. First play, 1st and goal from the 5. They run a pass. Greg Penn gets a sack. Greg Penn got a sack on the last play that the media was able to see. I don't know what to make of this defense, man. I really don't, because I know what this offense can be, will be, and is able to do for you. What I'm starting to ask questions about is this defense going to translate this into the season? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. I don't think that this offense is going to be bad at all. I think Garrett's going to be fine. I think this running game is going to be really fine. I think you're going to be fine. The question that I'm starting to ask is your defense just playing that good right now? Is Joe Sloan going to call things different in a game versus what he called today at practice? But I am very happy with what you did today defensively in the end zone. Now, here's what I'm not happy about. I'm not happy that you had 1st and goal from the 10-yard line and that Josh Williams went untouched and scored. You can't ignore that. But the 2nd and 3rd time that you're running one-on-ones on the goal line, you get a sack at the end of it, and then you go 4 straight plays with what I'm, in my humble opinion, that you legitimately did in stopping the run. Now, Brian Kelly came out in the press conference and said today that, and he's talking about after when we left. So Greg Penn gets sacked. Garrett Nussmeier on the goal line throws a touchdown, but it gets called back by a holding. I think that there are some things out there that they clearly don't want us to see. Some of the passing plays that they want to run in the end zone. I don't mind that. I mean, I really, really don't. If they want us out when they're doing pass stuff at the goal line, fine with me. What I know is for 4 straight plays, Caleb Jackson, who's been a bull all camp long, got stopped. Even though Frank Wilson ran over to the referee and made him and forced him to give him a touchdown. That happened. That happened. What I do know is that the referees, the side judges, did not award him a touchdown until Frank Wilson made him. Just didn't happen. And Frank was behind the play. He couldn't have seen that. He had no idea if he was down or not. You know, it seems like every single day I come out here, I look at this team and say to myself, Blake, don't overreact. Don't overreact. Don't overreact. Don't overreact. And I just keep playing that over and over and over in my mind. But, man, if you are better defensively, I still think that you have the receivers to throw the ball all over the place if you needed to. If If you needed Garrett to go out there and sling that thing, I think he can sling that thing. I also think that with this offensive line that you can run the football. What I think is happening is that this defense has gained some momentum and confidence, and they're kicking ass at the current moment. That's what I think is happening. And I will take it. It's what I'm seeing, right? Like it's what is happening out there on the practice field. The reason that I'm so concerned about being more bullish on them defensively is simply for this. It's simply due to the fact that I my brain and my eyes know what they're seeing. My gut tells me to hold off until they play a game. What are they going to do when live bullets are flying? Because if they come out here and do what they've done so far the last 4 days, they're going to be a top 50 unit defensively, and you're going to lean on the running game. You're going to lean. You might be okay. Does that raise your ceiling? If you went into the season like I did, or going into before fall camp thinking that you were a 9-3 team, does that elevate you to a playoff? Does the adversity that you will see in every single game, are you able to overcome that because of the looks and the practice and the reps that you've gotten against a better unit? You know, like this offensive line, that D-line's not going to see a better unit than that unless they see Georgia. They're not going to. They're certainly not going to see one with more team or cohesiveness and team chemistry. Can they translate that over? You can't make up what's happening. Like, guys, you're seeing it. If you follow LSU on social media, you're seeing it with your own eyes. These big plays that are happening in the running game for Caleb Jackson, you're seeing. Harold Perkins shooting through the A-gap, tackle for loss, you're seeing. Today, I'm assuming at some point LSU is going to post a video, maybe post a video of what they did at the goal line. And you're going to see Harold Perkins shooting through the A-gap again and making a tackle and stopping Caleb Jackson for no gain right up the middle. I don't know what to make of this team. I really don't know what to make of them. We're going to get to Brian Kelly's thoughts in just a moment in his press conference. To me, I think his words today about being balanced, being a physical team, we're seeing a lot more consistency. Guys, he literally came out today. BK literally in his press conference today came out and said today, I think we've turned the corner defensively in some areas. You damn right you have. You're god dog right you have. At least that's what you're seeing, because the truth is that Nuss is not like this. Offense is not going to be like this. Like, you're going to face worser defenses. You might even face a worser defense in week one. That's a possibility that may happen. How is this working with Garrett Nussmeier, this entire offense with Joe Sloan calling plays? Is that the camp reaction that you're getting? Now, they got into the spring and they were throwing it all over the place. They were lighting the scoreboard up. That's a strong possibility of what may happen here. But, man, I think that you're seeing a team that's playing with so much confidence and cohesiveness and togetherness defensively that it's outshining everything else. Right? Like, I think it's outshining everything else. Guys, I stood up today. And if you want to give it an offensive period because they score or that it's split, I mean, guys, it's 50-50 here. The two periods that we saw, one was a very great run by Josh Williams that the offense scored on. The next one was a masterclass in stopping the run at the goal line. I don't know what else you want. I don't know how to make 50-50. Like, I don't know what you take from a team being this balanced and 50-50 all the time. Yesterday, we talked about 7-on-7 with the offense's way by 1. They won 7 reps. Defense won 6 reps. Today was a lot of the same. It was 7 and 5. 7 on offense, 5 on defense. Like that, I don't know what to make of the balance and evenness. Like, let me give an example. In 22, the defense was far and ahead of the offense going into the 2022 season. The inverse happened last year, and this year it's balanced. They get them here, then defense gets them there. Then Garrett Nussmeier throws a touchdown, then Garrett throws a pick. Then Caleb Jackson gets a run right up the middle and goes for 7. Then you get to the goal line, and this defense stops them on 4 straight plays. That might mean that you have a good team. You might not have a generational team, but you might have a very good team. Like, damn, man, LSU won 10 games in the regular season, and that's because that they were really balanced and overcome some adversity, and they're a playoff team. Or the opposite could happen here, and that you're struggling on offense and that you're letting a really bad defense get off on you. That could be a possibility. Or it could be a possibility that they're just being so vanilla to get the defensive confidence up that, they're not calling what they'd be calling in games. I don't know. But I haven't seen the defense look like this in 18 months. I haven't. Y'all think that Brian Kelly, which let's get to his press conference, then we'll start getting any questions here. Y'all think that Brian Kelly is giving you coach speak, quote unquote, in these press conferences? Guys, he's not. He's not. Let's talk about what he said today. Then we'll get. We got a couple of super chats. Then we'll get to. Then we'll get to your questions. I thought Brian Kelly today. I don't think that there's anything that I've seen that he talked about today that I don't agree with. To start off, Brian Kelly was asked about, or he came out in his opening statement and said, look, man, we're going to be a balanced team. We're going to be in some tough, close games this year. Some very tough and close games. And today's practice was about mindset. Can you win when it matters most? That's how the last 2 days have been. Can you win when it matters most? When the game is on the line, what will you do? Will you show up? And at the end of it, he says, I was very pleased by what I saw today. Got to clean some things up. It's camp. Got to clean this up here, that up there. It's camp. We're working on those things. Guys, I agree with it. Talking about how balanced that they've been the last week. Now guys got to stack days. Yeah, they got to stack days. Basically, if LSU keeps doing what they're doing over the next 3 to 4 days, I don't know how Brian Kelly doesn't come out there and start having some confidence about overall how his team's going to perform. I don't know how he doesn't feel that way. But he was asked about, like, hey, coach, you've been getting some pass rush the last couple of practices. And what do you think about it? He says Kevin Peoples is why it's happening. Savion Jones is taking a leap because of Kevin Peoples. Deshaun Womack is making some plays because of Kevin Peoples. Braden Swinson has been making plays because of Kevin Peoples. You're goddamn right. That's what's been happening. You're damn right that's what's been happening. He ain't joking with that. Nussmeier gets sacked by Greg Penn. You want to know why? Because they run a stunt up front at the end of the practice, and Braden Swinson literally gets in the rib cage of Miles Frazier, and Harold Perk and Greg Penn's able to come around. Boom, sack. They are playing, man. They're playing fast, physical, aggressive style of defense against this O-line. They're scheming. Guys are scheming. Stay scheming. Like it's Drake, it's like Drake's song in the early 2010s. Bet you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Bet you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. They scheming stuff up. Brian Kelly was also asked about Ashton Stamps, saying that, look, got to be more consistent. He's led the camp in interceptions and pass breakups. That is a far cry of what's been happening. Now, let me say this too. Ashton Stamps might be the best practice player I've seen that has struggled going into games. He's got to be the one that shows that he can translate it, right? He's got to be the one that can show that can translate it. Guys, you might have a really good corner. You might be really good at tight end. I see Bullfrog. Of course, Bullfrog in the chat. Guys, Kamarian Penton. He was at Brian Kelly today was asked about Kamarian Penton. Brian Kelly joked and said, "Hey, I think that we didn't know if he was going to be like a real tight end, like he was going to get his hands dirty and actually block and actually do what we needed him to do." Well, he's actually doing it, and he's making plays in the passing game. Guys, we told you why Mac Markway transferred. I told you. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, head, ass. I told you, head and shoulders, Kamarian Penton whipped Mac Markway's butt, and when they battled for that second tight end spot, was not close, did not win it. Doesn't mean Mac Markway is a bad player. Kid could go on to some other school and be an All-American for all I know. What I know is that Kamarian Penton won. The catch he had yesterday, elite. Not good, elite. Elite. And I agree with BK. He has put his hand on the end line and done some good things. By the way, I think you're going to see some tight end screens this year. They started off the practice today with some tight end screens to Kamarian Penton. That's how they started camp off the practice off today with Joe Salone. Shit looked good. They look really good doing it too. I forget some of the other things. Oh, Wilson Alexander asked Brian Kelly about safeties and punters. I'm glad Wilson asked about punter, and I'm glad because it's something that we've discussed. I don't agree about the Blake Oschendorf thing. I think Blake Oschendorf has won it. Now, Brian Kelly said that the consistency's got to get better. Well, yeah, you're making him punt like 6 in a row. Like, let him go 2 apiece, catch a break. Let another little kid catch a break. I mean, I get it, but Jesus Christ. I don't think 38 Peyton Todd's is going to punt. Maybe in some short yardage stuff. Blake Oschendorf's been booting the shit out of it. Safety play. Did y'all hear Brian Kelly today about when he was asked about his starting safeties right now, Jordan Gilbert and Jordan Allen? Did y'all hear this? Very crucial and critical about what he said. He started off by saying that he was going into camp thinking about the safety room and that the lack of communication that would be had there would hurt this defense. He said it's been a very good, pleasant of surprise. He has not been wrong. Jordan Allen and Jordan Gilbert have really been lining guys up on where to go and what to do and being where they need to be to have success. That has been happening. Jake Olsen is not getting the credit that he deserves at the current moment. That is Blake Baker's right-hand man. They are going to get everybody lined up of where they need to be. I do think that that's helped Harold Perkins and some of the things that he's done. I think that's helped Jordan Allen get where he needs to get. I think that's helped Ashton Stamps. Guys, you can't replace experience. It is the one thing we talk about the most on this show. You cannot replace the experience level that you have in certain games, in certain positions, and on certain teams. When you have that success, you have that experience, what it translates to the field. You can't replace a Brandon Taylor. A Brandon Taylor, the former number 18, a safety, you can't replace the other coach that's on that football field. It's bro, you want to know why guys stay in the league for so long? Like Tyrann Mathieu, is because they know everything that's coming their way. They do. Guys, I say this to my buddies all the time. They Tony Romo it. Teams that have success in the secondary normally and historically have guys that have experience like Jordan Gilbert. So, yeah. All right. I see a couple of questions flying here like coals. We're going to get to them. Let me see. Cody's got a super chat in here. Yes, if you want your questions read 1,000%, send in a super chat. We got some questions in here. We'll come back, get to a quick break, get to all your questions. So right now, fire them in. You have thoughts, questions, concerns. Put them inside the chat. We're going to get to all of them. Put like a hashtag Ask Blake so we see them too. We'll come back and do that next. Stay with us. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Falls and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with a great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Falls has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on by.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. No, not mud bugs. Unwanted bugs like these. The ones you don't want crawling in your home or business. Trust the Shield from J&J Exterminating. We've been protecting Louisiana homes for over 50 years, earning the trust of our clients because we deliver what we promise. Protect your home from pests. Get the Shield from J&J Exterminating.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
J&J has protected Louisiana homes and businesses for over 60 years.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
All right. Cody McGee sends in a $9.99 super chat. Says Nick Saban, Les Miles, Ed Orgeron all won championships here in year 3 under our as head coaches. Brian Kelly and this team can do it this year. What are your thoughts? I cannot go there, Cody. I can't go there. Could the unthinkable happen and they win it all? I don't even know if I'd call it unthinkable. I just think it would shock some people based off of what you had last year with Jaden Daniels. If that happens, that means that Blake Baker's gone. Blake Baker's going to get a head coaching gig, right? It's a lot to live up to, man. A lot to live up to. Let me look at Saban won in year 3, but older quarterback, Matt Malk. Les won it with an older quarterback in Matt Flynn. I mean, recipe could happen, man. But you had some, but see, in like an 03 and 07, you had some generational type shit defensively. When you got back there in 11, well, you remember that. And then in 19, you had the best team orchestrated of all time. Maybe it could happen, man. Maybe it could. I don't know. Cole Adams says, ask Blake, were you out there when they used the Prowler defense? Yes, I've been out there every day. So we talked about this before. Major Burns goes out. Jair Brown comes in. In the first team period, Jair Brown did give up a fade route to Kyron Lacey in the back of the end zone. Really the only thing that they gave up there, though, like they defensively, they were pretty stout there again. They did give up a touchdown. They gave 2 touchdowns up in the team period stuff. But yeah, I thought when they put in the Prowler look, it's not that Jair Brown is coming in. It's more about the defensive line. They did use it today. They had some short goal line stuff today, or like 3rd and short. Dylan Carpenter came in. It's the second time Dylan Carpenter is rotated in with the ones in a big man package. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But yeah, I like it. I mean, they're very versatile in all the stuff that they're doing. Very versatile. Rick Cloetti says, I predict 2 to 4 sacks versus USC in a couple weeks. Game-changing tackles for loss. Man, I hope so. Rick also says, ask Blake, does Brian Kelly and Joe Sloan script the first 15 plays a little some, and how important is it to get off to a fast start versus USC in Vegas? Oh, no doubt they're scripting the first 15 plays, if not the first 20 plays. 1,000%. 1,000%. I don't know, I don't know what Joe's going to come out there and do. I literally would try to establish the running game very early. Very early. Last year, you hit, Jaden Daniels hit Trey Bradford on that wheel route, and then you couldn't score it in the red zone or the goal line. I'd come out there and try to establish the run, see what happens, or defer it. But definitely script your first 15 to 20. They're going to do that. I do think Brian Kelly's going to lean in some offensively. I think he's going to have more input than people realize. No doubt. Gerald Rhodes says, ask Blake, is the D-line depth an issue because we are LSU and expect great D-line play all year? No. Like, would the guys be behind Tank not start at other programs, or is it we don't have enough guys in general? I think you don't have enough guys in general, enough guys that you brought in to develop. I don't know if any of the backup guys would be like starters elsewhere in the SEC. I actually don't really think that they would right now. Maybe outside of like a Don McKinley, potentially. But even Don McKinley, I don't think would be starting as a freshman. I just think that you've struggled in the interior at times, but you didn't today. I don't expect you to be elite along the defensive line, if I'm being honest. What I expect you to do is not give up massive gaping runs. Just don't get bullied at times. Richard Manning says, hey, Blake, you want the defense to carry over, but is it possible they will even be better against other teams with lesser O-lines? What do you think? Could be. Very much could be, man. Very much is in play here. Very much is in play that could happen. All right, last one. Chris Campbell says, if we have pretty good year on defense, it will bring greater talent in. No doubt. No doubt. Here's the thing, man. You got to make the playoff this year. That is your goal. I'm not putting a winning a national title on it. You got to make the playoff. It's a must. So, yeah. All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Y'all have a good day or good night. We'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace.